British politics is basically in meltdown. The entire political landscape is fracturing. And as I said the other day on Twitter and in the video, this is because the Blairite project is just reaching its natural conclusion, and there's nowhere else for it to go. So the various minor factions are now realizing that the coalitions no longer work for them, and they're splitting up. And the political pressure, I think, is what's really getting to everyone. I think that's why Rachel Reeves was crying, because there's nowhere else to go, and there's nothing she can do. She's being responsible for it. She chose the job, so at the end of the day, she gets what she deserves. But the point being is that it's not normal to cry in the Parliament. I mean, first female Chancellor cries in Parliament. But Kemi Badenoch was really laying into her, right? The Mean Girls were at it. And I've got to say, Badenoch was pretty savage. So, fair enough. That was interesting and, I don't want to say impressive, but it was pretty fun to watch. I'm not going to. Anyway, so the Labour Party has some serious fractures in it, and the woke Islamist coalition in the Labour Party, they've been courting for a long time, and that at least half a dozen cabinet members are relying on for their place in Parliament, let alone in the cabinet, is splintering apart as well. Jess Phillips is a great example of this, where she won her Birmingham Yardley constituency by like 500 votes, really close to, of course, an independent Gaza MP, and Zara Sultana is another one of those Islamo-communist MPs, and she says, "Today, after 14 years, I am resigning from the Labour Party. Jeremy Corbyn and I will co-lead the founding of a new party, with other independent MPs, campaigners, and activists across the country." So this is going to be the Islamo-Communist Party. So bad luck Greens, basically, because that's the demographic that the Greens were courting. It's going to be the People's Party of Palestine. No, it's going to be the Palestine People's Party. The woke left are fracturing, and they're leaving the Labour Party. She's got a thing, but basically this comes over Gaza, right? She says, across the political establishment from Farage to Starmer, they smear people of conscience trying to stop a genocide in Gaza as terrorists. Because, of course, they prescribed Palestine Action as being a terrorist party organization because they committed acts of terrorism against the RAF. So they're not going to take it anymore. We are not an island of strangers. We're an island that's suffering. It's like, look, you can just go back, okay, to where you or your parents came from. There is no we between us, right? I do not recognize her as being one of my fellow countrymen because she is an Islamo-communist. She advocates for everything foreign against everything British. So I don't personally view us to be in a political polity, right? I don't see us as being members of the same political community. And so there is no friendship between us when it comes to how the state should be run. So in the most fundamental Aristotelian manner, there is no shared political harmony between us, right? So being like, it's socialism or barbarism. There we go. Okay, go be a communist somewhere else, which is ironically what Jeremy Corbyn said to her. Because apparently Jeremy Corbyn was like, what? No, I'm not starting a party with you. He has not agreed to join the new left party with Zara Sultana yet. He probably will. He's close with the Gaza independent MPs anyway. He's like the fifth member of the Beatles, basically. When it comes to that, and of course, there's not an Islamist terrorist group that Jeremy Corbyn hasn't called our friends. So it's not like he's not already on their side, and it's not like everyone in the country doesn't already know that he is a terrorist sympathising communist, because he's been that his whole life. But apparently he's furious and bewildered at the way it had been launched without consultation. So I guess that they had a phone call and she took that too literally. But what's interesting, so this is probably like the Greens, but the Greens are on like 6% or something. Jeremy Corbyn has got more brand recognition, but for good and for ill. I reckon they'll probably get to 10%, but they might end up having that split with the Greens, some Lib Dems maybe, although the Lib Dems are generally communists. So it basically the People's Front of Judea and the Judean People's Front are just going to be sharing a few percentage of the polls of the electorate. Hopefully it's enough to just peel some people away from Labour, just so the Labour vote goes down by another couple of points, which would be good. But yeah, so fracturing on the left, not great for and this is peeling away from the centre as well. I don't know why they think that a majority of people would sign up for this, because a majority of people just don't agree with all of this. Like, we have the numbers. people aren't going to vote for a Jeremy Corbyn-led Islamo-communist party. There's just not a big enough constituency in the country for that. And for any Americans watching, 7%. That's all they are. They're just really overrepresented in the media. Anyway, going on to the right. So, of course, Rupert Lowe launched his Restore Britain movement. Ben Habib launched the Advanced UK Party. So, fracturing on the right as well. So, we also have our Judean and People's Fronts of Judea. Some good coverage here from the Sun, although I think they're trying to smear him with this. Low blow. Axed Reform MP Rupert Lowe launches new movement to carpet bomb wokery and slash migration. I mean, that sounds brilliant. That's exactly how, if I were Rupert Lowe, that's how I'd want them to promote it. Yes, we're going to carpet bomb wokery, a great turn of phrase, and just slash migration. That's a good start. And you can tell that this is getting somewhere. Like, this is getting some traction with them. Because Hope Not Hate are like, oh my God! This is, oh no, Rupert Lowe is the most extreme MP in Britain. It's like, oh, I'm listening, go ahead. Like, we've got genuine, like, Islamo-communists who populate the Labour Party benches. But, you know, I guess Rupert Lowe being, I want Britain to be about British, he's the most extreme MP in this particular time and place. But they go on about how blah, 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 blah. You know, we don't like Rupert Lowe because he's right-wing. Me, 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 me. Oh, look, he replied to Morgoth. Me, 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 me. What does he want? He wants to restore Britain. Oh, well, what a terrible man. What a terrible man. How dare he? Whatever comes of it, having a figure as extreme as Lowe in the House of Commons is deeply worrying. Bro, you forgot to attach the Giga Chad image. Lowe's ever-growing list of xenophobic comments and hardline positions, coupled with his willingness to openly collaborate high-profile far-right figures, means he is currently the most extreme MP in Parliament. That's again, great advertising from Hope Not Hate. I actually think the real drawback with Restore is that it's got a name that begins with RE. So they have to put out articles like, well, how does Restore differ from Reform? Like, this is confusing for normies, right? It's not self-evident. And I think that's really the main issue with it. But otherwise, I agree that we should all join Restore Britain, by the way. Rupert Lowe is, I mean, you look at their Twitter feed, and they are posting basically my greatest hits. And I'm like, yes, 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 yes. We want all of these things. We need to create a mass movement that can actually begin to start getting people elected, even if either through influencing existing parties or maybe a party itself will come out of this eventually. Who knows? Point being, we need something to properly express the actual will of the British people. This appears to be it. Right champion at the right place at the right time. So let's give it a go and see how it goes. At the end of the day, if it fails, then what have we lost? 20 quid to sign up to it. And we're in exactly the same position we were in. If it succeeds, though, brilliant, and we've done some good. So Nigel Farage was asked about this on LBC. Deeply ironic answer from Nigel here. Let's listen to this.
It comes from Pat in Worcester Park, who points out that some of your former colleagues have launched new parties. Rupert Lowe, Restore Britain, Ben Habib, Advance UK. How concerned are you, asks Pat.
I think there are now 15 centre-right political parties, all one-man bands, all led by people whose egos are much bigger than the reality of the impact they can ever have.
It comes from Pat in Worcester.
Wow, that's a bit, isn't it? All one-man bands led by people with huge egos. Huh. That's coming from Nigel Farage. But I mean, notice the clever word there. Egos that are bigger than the reality of the impact they can ever have. Well, that's clever because Nigel is currently doing quite well in the polls. In fact, his approval rating generally is the only one that's positive. So, to be fair, got a point there. There's going to have to be a lot of work done in order to get things moving in the direction that we want. But you can see there, just look at those party leader ratings. Ed Davies' stupid theme park campaign got him -6. Keir Starmer on -43, but somehow Kemi Badenoch is on -45. Like, Jesus Christ, that's bad. But I mean, in Kemi Badenoch's favour, 45% don't even know who she is, how they feel about her. But out of the 55% that do, 50% think she's doing badly and only 5% think she's doing well. Keir Starmer, more people know about him, but again, he's on -43 because 57% of people like, no, I hate him too. Farage on 31, negative. That's surprisingly good. Surprisingly good. But the point being, that's all well and good, but it hasn't exactly been sunshine and roses in reform. Nations, there have been fights in the local councils that they've won, and the reform branches, I hear from my ear to the ground, many of them are not very happy with the chip at all. And, I mean, frankly, some of them are just dissolving. Speaking of them dissolving, the Conservatives are also dissolving. So apparently, not from this article, but again, from what I've heard, many Conservative branches just shut up shop. No one's turning up. No one wants to come out and be an activist for them. And they're sitting currently at about 15% in the polls, which is atrocious, even though they're the highest fundraising party in the country. And they're wondering, why is it that this mean girl, Yoruba Mami, isn't winning people over? It's like, well, because she's not likable. She's foreign. She's not likable. And this is just not the time. Now is just not the time. It's the window. Opportunity, that was 10 years ago. Not now. And sorry, it's not going to get any better. Everyone's waiting for Robert Jenrick, basically. And the question is, what kind of Tory party does Jenrick lead? Jenrick's rhetoric is generally pretty good, actually. I remain slightly suspicious, but I'm willing to entertain that he is better than the rest of them, because I think that's obviously true. He has done a lot more than the rest. He's pushing the discourse into the correct right-wing position. So that is at least something. And, good luck to him. He's definitely more right-wing than Nigel Farage is. So that's good. But the thing is, Nigel Farage ain't going to be around forever, is he? There's someone waiting in the wings. Because Nigel Farage is, 61, 62, something like that? Pretty much lifelong smoker and drinker. How much exercise does Farage do? It's entirely possible in the next couple of years Nigel Farage has some sort of health issue. God forbid, I don't want anyone to have health. But it's entirely possible that Nigel just isn't around. And he has said this himself. He's like, well, look, it might not be me who ends up leading the party. And there's definitely an ambitious young man who is worried about pensioners slitting his throat, waiting in the wings. So the thing is, if Nigel Farage does, for some reason, step down, for whatever reason, I think that the popularity of reform goes with him. We were told repeatedly that reform is Farage. Farage is what's making him so successful. Maybe. Not entirely convinced. But if that is the case, then if Nigel Farage has to step down, well, you can't expect the organic support that he's been enjoying to continue. So you can see that everything in Britain at the moment is all change. The political chips are being thrown into the air. Who knows how they're going to land? And things could become very, very different in a very short period of time. And so this is all very, very interesting, frankly. I mean, at least it's not boring, because the problem with British politics is that for a long time, nothing changes. Right? For a long time, absolutely nothing changes. In a very short space of time, a lot of things change very quickly, and the public are trying to scramble to catch up and be like, all right, what happened? What happened? Who am I voting for? What's going on? I don't know what's happening. Because if Nigel Farage retires tomorrow, that's a third of the electorate are going to be like, okay, what am I supporting again? I thought I was voting for Nigel Farage, but he's gone. So what am I doing? What's happening? I don't know what's going on. And so it's very, very turbulent times in British politics, as the contradictions in the current establishment are just kind of beginning to break the thing apart. But honestly, I think that's a good thing. Now is the time to actually start pushing forward with a positive and affirmative right-wing message, as doing, and it's all to play for, frankly. And like with most things, there is a kind of counter-revolution happening. And the thing is, the people who begin revolutions, Mr. Farage, are very rarely the people who end revolution. So watch this space, I think.